Hello everyone, welcome back to GIPlayers God of War Ascension. I didn't want her to die. She was a sweet old lady.
But she's dead, Jim.
I don't know, but
And eventually that's just gonna kill you.
It's not gonna kill me, it's gonna yank my head off.
Which would kill you.
You know what? Yeah, it would.
Uh-huh. I found hidden sparkly.
Oh, hidden sparklies are nice. So yeah, as I started a couple episodes back, it's kind of cool that Sony is finally like doubling down on an actual mascot for themselves. Like I remember, like a year or so ago, like when they first introduced, what was his name, Astro, the little robot dude. Like they announced him and like basically said that he's the new like official mascot for Sony like gaming and stuff like that. I was like, cool. A definitive mascot for their brand, finally. And now he's actually getting a game, and I would like to play that game because, like, he could like dress up as like other Sony IP characters and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, this is what a mascot could use, like his own like costumes and stuff. What are you looking at me for? What? That statue booby? That's man booby.
Oh no, we can like, you want to play that? You can play that right now.
Wait, it's out already?
Well, that's basically what's coming out as a DLC for it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I don't have a PS5, so I'm not really like up to date with the current games. My most current console is still the Switch.
Yeah. This guy thinks that there's not a PS5
Am I
in the building right now.
Well, you own it. I don't.
Play around now, bro.
It's all good. We're already playing Kratos. I've already deemed him as Sony's mascot. Just because they never gave up on him and never ran out of, like, ideas. Even if, like, I'm assuming there's a couple of, like, not that good God of War games. Like, isn't there, like, a mobile game or something like that you talked about before?
There is. It's not that it's not good, but, like, you can't play it anymore.
That sucks.
Because that mobile game, it was for, like, phones that were made, like, back in, like, the early 2000s.
Dang.
So you can't play that one anymore.
That sucks.
So theoretically, right now, I think the lowest rated God of War is this one, actually.
Wasn't there, like, a God of War game that was, like, multiplayer or something like that? This is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I guess I heard correctly.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that. Oh yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, that I do remember hearing about that. I mean, heck, even when we were talking about this game with Rojo, he was like, when we told him that we were recording God of War, he's like, "Are you playing the first one, the good one?" We were like, "No, we're playing Ascension." Why?
It's the bad one.
The game sucks. Gotta explain to him that we were doing this in chronological order. Then he was like, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense, but it still sucks.
Like I said, this one is probably the worst of the, and it's mainly because there are a lot of mechanics that they had they changed for the worse. Like, one of the things was, so like the combo, like right here.
Yeah.
Like, so that was a normal combo in the game. Now, since I don't have my that thing on the bottom right, so it doesn't do the full combo unless you have that meter all the way full.
Yeah. Alright.
So that was another thing that was fine. Then another thing was this whole thing where you can, it's not grabbing them, but where you can like grab them and then like hit them while they're, you know, so what is it? This whole mechanic right here. So this wasn't very like well received either.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't mind it at all, so.
I mean, it still looks fun.
I mean, definitely besides, I would say, the first boss and the last boss. All the bosses are okay.
Okay.
Time to heal. Bob the Builder, yeah, we build it. Bob the Builder, yes we can. Ta-da! We did it.
God, my little cousin used to be obsessed with Bob the Builder.
Get my feet wet.
My little nephew likes Paw Patrol. He's like a 1.5.
My kids like Paw Patrol. Most of my daughter though.
Okay, cool.
Running, 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 running simulator, running simulator. Running simulator. Boobies.
Okay. Might have to bring up some censorship here.
Make sure you do it.
I'll try to remember, but hey, if I can't remember, we'll figure out how YouTube views video game censorship. I'm not going to bring back that rabbit hole. Don't worry, everybody. I said my piece about it a few episodes back.
And a little bit this one.
Just a refresher. Just because it was presented to us right now.
Yeah, stupid, dumb.
How would you feel about a Sega mascot brawler?
I don't feel like there's nothing.
Enough of what?
The Sega brawl people could do it.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a ton of characters they could use.
It's following me. I'm dying, bro. Die.
I mean, hell, all the characters that they used in the All-Stars racing games alone could like be a good starting roster.
Bruh.
Between characters from Sonic or Knights, Virtua Fighter, Skies of Arcadia. Hell, Streets of Rage characters would be fun.
Die, bro.
So would characters from Yakuza, Shining series, like the Shining Force games and such like that. Y-Star, Billy Hatcher. There are so many dang good characters that they could make their own brawler game. They literally could. Even including like characters like Bayonetta. Freaking... God.
Bob the Builder.
Was there something on the side I think I saw?
Maybe.
Go back a little bit.
Yeah,
After this is done.
Bob the Builder.
After Bob the Builder. Thought I saw something like on the side. Maybe it was just a wall that I saw glowing or something like that. Yeah, it was just a wall.
I fixed it.
But yeah, characters from like Golden Axe. Just so many characters from Sega games. They could do their own roster. I would love to see a game where you play as kids from Jet Set Radio and just beat everybody up on rollerblades and spray painting them with freaking spray paint.
And it'd be rhythm based.
That would be actually cool. Hell, you can even bring Hatsune Miku in those games. That'd be so freaking cool. Just seeing her beat the shit out of people.
I think I'm gonna die. Misa gonna die. Misa don't have it the hell.
Hell, Jack Kamen would be a fun character to play in a freaking mascot brawler from Mad World.
Actually, Misa don't have it the hell.
That sucks.
Misa's dead.
We still gonna die a lot here, aren't we?
Nah, because you get full health at the checkpoint.
Oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah, it's weird. You're the second person I've heard say there's not enough characters from Sega's library to make a mascot brawler when there's hundreds. There are literally hundreds of characters.
Oh my god, these freaking dogs back.
Hell, you can even include like the characters from like games that they've like acquired recently. I mean, like companies and stuff like that. Like you can like include characters from the Shin Megami Tensei series, Jack Frost, or the characters from the Persona games. Freaking, how hilarious would it be to play as the Angry Birds and just beat the shit out of people?
What in the fuck?
Yeah, Sega owns Angry Birds now. It's something I have to constantly remind myself. Yeah, there's so many characters. Like, the Project Cross Zone games even, like, gives you a good portion of, like, Sega characters. Like, from Sakura Wars, Residents of Fate, freaking, and so many good characters. And just imagine, like, the third parties, like, you could get, like, exclusives you could get.
Yes. Stupid.
It's like Sega has had just as good of, like, a gaming history as Nintendo, I feel. I mean, they were rivals for a good long time. Dude, could you imagine playing as like one of the characters from Crazy Taxi, and then for like their Final Smash, they summon the taxi and just run over everybody, and they just go flying?
Stupid.
And it would be hilarious if they, while they do the Final Smash, basically, I'm just using that as like a quotations for like whatever move, it plays like a song from The Offspring. Yeah, 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 BAM!
Stupid.
That'd be so freaking cool.
I won't have magic. Magic. I have magic now. I do my bill.
And there could be plenty of like characters that could be like assist trophies. Like you summon an assist trophy like thing, and like the columns from Columns or Puyo Puyo just fall on you and like crush you.
Magic.
Plus, we could finally get Shadow the Hedgehog as a playable fighter. No? You don't want that? Hey, it's a Cyclops! We haven't seen you in forever.
Let's kill it. Oh, Jeebus.
Technically, the one we killed is in the future, so this is our first run-in with the Cyclops, basically.
There's fucking bugs, bro.
It's so reminiscent to the beginning of the game right now. Don't you feel nostalgic for a game that we've been playing for a couple of hours now?
Die. 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 Stupid bug, bro. Here, have electricity bug. Oh, Jeebus. Die, 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 die. Let the souls hate go. Oh, souls of Hades.
Like, yeah, you could like play as characters from Phantasy Star. It's like so many memorable franchises from Sega's library, and like no one ever like talks about like how good of a game this could be. Like it could be a good rival for Smash Brothers, but because people have just loved Smash Brothers so much, they won't even consider the chance, even though there are other games just like Smash Brothers, but just don't get the hype as it does. Like Multiverses looks amazing. I bet it's fun, but doesn't get that same hype as Smash Brothers. PlayStation's best stuff, freaking whatever, did not like live up to its hype. It had a little bit of hype. It did. It did have a little bit of hype, but we all played it for like a month and then completely forgot about it.
And it tried to revive itself with DLC, and it didn't work.
That is true.
It did not work at all.
Who were DLC characters? I know Zeus was. Who else was a DLC character?
I don't know. Hey, Google. Who were the DLC characters for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale?
On the website PlayStationAllStars.fandom.com, they say, the first costume DLC that was revealed were the pre-order costumes, while the first character DLC included the playable characters Kat and Dusty from Gravity Rush and Emmett Graves from Starhawk, Isaac Clarke from Dead Space and Zeus from God of War.
That's right, Isaac! I forgot he was in that game. Completely. It's like they tried to get like as many edgy characters as they could, but it's like... it didn't make sense, really. Like, yeah, I think Dead Space was on the PlayStation, but, I mean, it was also on the Xbox, and that's what I have it on and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was on the Xbox.
I know it is. Skull NaCl even played a little bit of it on the channel. Where are we now?
We are back towards the beginning of the game. But you'll see now, we have the ability to break and repair.
Okay. I remember this area when it was nighttime.
Mm-hmm. So now, yeah. We should do that real quick, lad.
Pull it. But yeah, no mascot brawler will ever get the exact same hype as Smash Brothers. We all know this. But I feel like if Sega were to make one, it would be probably almost just as good as Smash Brothers. I honestly do feel like that. Because they have just as memorable characters that everyone like grew up playing with, whether you were either owned a Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, or any system, or knew of people who had one. Because, like, I grew up with a Nintendo system. I didn't have a Sega system until, like, I got the Dreamcast. And, like, I knew who Sonic was and some other, like, Sega games and stuff like that. Because some of my cousins or friends had, like, a system. So, it's still memorable. But, like, everyone, like, whenever Sega does something, people will always say, oh, they're just copying Nintendo. And it's like, that's not fair. When other people are copying Nintendo too, no one bats an eye. At all. Did you know there's a Ninja Turtle mascot brawler?
No.
Yeah. I don't think it did well. But still, it exists. At least that's what I think I heard.
It has been fixed. And then we're going to fix.
And I'm not talking about the Nickelodeon mascot brawler or the sequel. I think it had its own, like, genuine brawler.
Ta-da.
But yeah, like, whenever someone else copies Nintendo, no one bats an eye. Except for when PlayStation did those motion control things. That was it. Even then, technically, Nintendo copied someone else when they made the Wiimotes. Sega had controllers like that in their freaking, like, concept art and stuff like that for their own system. They had their own version of Wiimotes way before the Wiimote was made.
But I thought there was a company that had sued Nintendo ultimately during the whole that debacle.
I can't remember, but I know it wasn't Sega who did it, but I mean they had the not copyright, the patent, yes. Sega had a patent for a design that was similar to it, but I don't think they sued it.
No, but I thought there was a company that sued.
I think a company did sue Nintendo, but I think they obviously lost.
Oh yeah.
Because I think what they did was they made the patent a little bit after it, but like changed the date or something, and like screwed themselves or something like that. I do remember. I do know exactly what you're talking about. Does anyone remember that? No, because Nintendo won. Just like what they did when they made Donkey Kong, baby. A lot of people just don't remember how influential Sega was to gaming. Like, when you think of like the 16-bit era, which console came first?
Oh, no, well, sorry. You said 16 or...
16-bit.
Isn't that the Dreamcast?
I mean, Dreamcast isn't 16-bit, but when it came to like 16-bit, Sega made the Genesis or Mega Drive before the Super Nintendo. The Genesis was the rival for the original Nintendo. And then Nintendo made the Super Nintendo, which is a better system. I will not deny this. I mean, it's not as fast as the Genesis, but it like had more colors, more RAM, and stuff like that the Genesis didn't have. But that's because the Genesis came before the Super Nintendo. So they would like make more things to like make the Genesis more like relative and like more modern and stuff like that. That's why they made all those attachments for it. They almost made a whole new like system, but they got scrapped for the Saturn when that was coming out and stuff like that to like compete with the Super Nintendo. And you know what's funny is the Saturn did better in Japan than the N64 did. And it's all thanks to Sega Sanshiro, baby. He scared people enough to make them buy a Sega Saturn. Because if you didn't, he'd come to you and beat you up.
Cool.
And there's another character that you could have for the mascot brawler is Sega Sanshiro. And he just beat the crap out of you with a Sega Saturn. And his like finisher move could be using the missile that was supposed to destroy Sega like Industries and just like bombed your ass or something like that with it. Sega Sanshiro! But yeah, like Sega was a huge like thing, like impact on gaming and stuff like that. Just as much as Nintendo was. Hell, look at the Game Boy and the Game Gear. Which was the better like, I'm not saying like which was more successful, which was technically a better like handheld console to play with.
Between those two, wasn't it the Game Gear?
Yes, the Game Gear not only had more colors than the Game Boy did with its monochrome like color system, it also had a backlight. And it had a port that you could plug like from your Genesis into it, so that way you didn't have to worry about the battery dying.
Oh, I don't know.
And it also had some attachments to like make the screen bigger, like the Game Boy did and stuff like that. But the only thing that like basically the Game Gear had that was a flaw was its short battery life. That's it.
That's an oof and a half.
That it takes 6 batteries. But its battery life is only like a little bit worse than a Switch, I think. But you gotta think about it. Like, how powerful was that thing to not only have a backlight and so many colors? Like, it was ahead of its time. It was honestly ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But because you had games like Pokemon and some Mario games and things here and there for the Game Boy, it became a better, more successful console, especially with its longer battery life. And the fact that it survived a nuclear like blast or something like that, or a bomb blast, I can't remember the specific kind of blast, and it was like up in space and like could still play Tetris or whatever. Like, it was a more successful console, yeah. What the heck are you, a giant? The Harbor Master of Kira. Captured from the bloodthirsty isle of the Laestrygonians, this tame giant, guides waiting vessels into and out of the sea cave that is the harbor of Kira. By the way, this episode's going a little long because it's going to be like the last God of War episode for this session. It looks like we're kind of doing this in like batches of 6. And plus, I want to keep talking about what we're talking about.
The bruh. I think we are getting there.
But yeah, I hate that people like crap on Sega for being not better than Nintendo, but just as good and memorable.
Only a coward hides himself, Orcos.
Damn.
You know I'm one of the Furies who forged your bond.
Gary Oldman?
Kill me before I can even speak.
Then tell me, what has brought you to this betrayal of your own kind?
It's you. The injustice of your oath that made me die. Is it possible that through all your suffering you still do not understand why you were chosen? Why Ares needed you? Why he still needs you?
Speak clearly.
Oh, Kratos.
So, this is a prequel. Why have we not seen Ares yet?
I was brought forth
Oh,
for the
okay.
joining of the war god and the
I had
Fury.
no idea what Ares looks like.
Ares and the Fury had smacks.
In rage and insanity,
And they made him.
Ares hoped to conceive the perfect warrior. But I was only a disappointment to him. It was my mothers who spared me. They gave me the task of keeping the Earths. Although my burden was great, I was determined to be of service to those who said they loved me. But it was you, Kratos. It was the final task of your bond that made me question the actions of my family.
Okay, visually, this is
On council with Alethea.
This is
It was
what?
she
This is
who
good.
revealed to me the plot of Ares to overthrow Zeus. But he needed the perfect warrior. Ares molded you to take down the very walls of Olympus.
Ares, destroy my enemies, and my life is yours!
To make you beholden only to him, Ares and my mothers devised 3 blood tasks. Spill the blood of your enemies. The blood of the innocent. The blood of your very
The past is the past, Orcos,
past you now seek to rectify.
and I will do so without the aid of the Fury.
Well, they were just dead silent throughout that whole thing.
There's
As
cutscenes.
Kratos looked upon the gem, he realized all he need do was fight the forces that gnawed at his
Is that the
mind.
Oracle talking?
His thoughts.
Oh,
were
we're
clear.
done with
The
the,
warrior turned
past.
his rage to the remaining Furies and their ultimate defeat.
Alright. Alright. Well, we will continue this another time. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session of God of War where I
Cutscenes.
did not shut up about certain things
And cutscenes.
and cutscenes.
No boobies though.
No boobies! Well, I mean, technically on like some minor character like enemies and stuff like that, but I'll censor those still because even if they were like small and you can
Allegedly.
see it- allegedly.
Allegedly he will censor it.
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you were meaning like allegedly something else.
Allegedly he'll censor it.
I'll try to remember. I mean, since we did not stop talking about it, I'm sure I'll remember. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us on this session of God of War. We'll continue this very soon. This is a fun game that I'm watching like Brian play. And I hope you guys are enjoying it too, even if you're listening to me not shut up about things.
And funny enough, this is considered the worst one.
And I'm enjoying it.
You know, I'd still say I like God of War 3 probably the best, and then Ragnarok. And those would probably be my, like, first would be definitely God of War 3. God of War 3 is.
I've never played that one, nor have I seen any, like, videos or anything about it. Like, my only history with God of War was God of War 1, and then God of War 4 for the PS4. The one where he, like, finally goes to a different land to fight new gods.
I've never seen this. And then the so this, the prequel of prequels, King of Prequels.
Yeah, this is chronologically the first one.
And then there's technically the prequel, which is Chain of Olympus.
Was that the PSP one?
Mm-hmm. And then there's God of War 1. Then there's Ghost of Sparta. And then God of War 2. And then God of War 3. And then, yeah, so on and so on. Technically, the mobile game that we can't get, unless you have powers, that actually is part of the story. And that is actually between Ghost of Sparta... I'm sorry, no. It is between God of War 1 and Ghost of Sparta.
I wonder if we could emulate it. We'll find that all out some other time. See you guys soon for more God of War. My phone just fell.
Damn. It was terrible.